attic. A toolbox. A kid's old piggy bank. And when they do, collectors scramble to get their hands on them. Take the story of Sarah Jennings, a schoolteacher in Iowa. She found one of these coins while helping her students roll change for a fundraiser. That day, she went home, did a little research, and her hands started shaking. It wasn't just a 1910 wheat penny. It had an extremely rare die clash, where the designs from both sides of the coin faintly overlapped. She had it professionally graded. The result? -58 Australian dollars. Near mint. That coin sold at private auction $4,412,000. Now here's where things get even more surprising. Most people think they don't have anything valuable. That if they haven't been collecting coins, there's no chance. But the truth is, the rarest finds don't come from collectors. They come from forgotten jars in basements. Shoeboxes in closets. Old drawers that haven't been opened in decades, and right now, right this second, someone watching this video has a coin like this and doesn't even know it. So how do you know if your 1910 Lincoln penny could be worth a fortune? Let's break it down, simply, in a way that might just send you rushing for that change jar after this. First, the year. Look for 1910. Next, the mint mark, or rather, the lack of one. Coins from Philadelphia in 1910 had no mint mark under the date. That's not rare in itself, but it's a key starting point. If there's a small S beneath the year, that's from San Francisco, not the one we're hunting. Now, look closely. Examine the rim. Is it strong? Faded? Are there any visible cracks or lines running through the design? These are signs of die breaks, rare minting flaws that can skyrocket a coin's value. Pay attention to off-center strikes, where part of Lincoln's head is cut off or shifted. These are prized by collectors because they show the moment the machine failed. And failures? They're gold in the world of coin collecting. Next, the condition. Even a rare penny can lose value if it's too worn. But here's the truth, some errors are so rare that even in bad condition, they can be worth thousands. Still, the higher the grade, the higher the price, but be warned, the market is full of fakes, altered dates, counterfeits, even artificially aged coins. Some people take common wheat pennies and file off parts of the mint mark to fake rarity. These forgeries can fool even experienced eyes. So how do you protect yourself? Get your coin authenticated. The top names? PCGS and NGC, they're the gold standard in grading and verifying coins. For a small fee, they'll not only confirm if your penny is real, they'll grade its condition, seal it, and provide certification that could add tens of thousands to its value. But here's the emotional part of this story, and the part most people miss: that it's not just about money. It's about legacy. These coins are time capsules. Tiny, copper witnesses to history. Minted just a year before the Titanic set sail. Held in pockets during World War I, passed from hand to hand through the Great Depression. Every nick, every scratch, tells a story, and now, it might be part of your story. You don't have to be a collector. You don't have to know anything about numismatics. You just have to look. Because if you're holding a 1910 no mint mark wheat penny, with the right error, the right condition, and the right story, you could be sitting on life-changing money. You'd be amazed how many people never check. How many old cigar boxes, mason jars, or inherited coin folders hold one of the most valuable pennies ever made? Still waiting. Still hidden. So when this video ends, don't scroll on. Go to your drawer. Your change jar. Your closet. Check that old wallet you haven't touched in years, because this exact penny, the 1910 Lincoln wheat cent with no mint mark, could be worth up to $995,000. You're about to hear something that could genuinely change your life. It's not a gimmick. It's not clickbait. It's a simple coin, a penny, actually, that most people would overlook, toss into a jar, or spend without a second thought. But one man didn't. He paused. He looked closer. And what he held in his hand, a 1938 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, would soon turn out to be worth almost $1 million. Yes. A single cent, worth nearly $990,000. And here's the craziest part, you might already own one, without even knowing it. For most people, pennies are just background noise, change from the grocery store, loose coins in the couch cushions, a rattling cup holder in the car. But not for the folks who grew up during the Great Depression. For them, every penny counted. And maybe that's why stories like this still strike such a deep chord. Because they remind us that even the smallest things can hold enormous value, if you know what to look for. Let's go back to 1938. America was crawling out of the depths of the Depression. Jobs were scarce, families struggled to get by, and hope was a fragile thing. That year, the U.S. Mint continued producing the familiar Lincoln wheat penny, with the honest, solemn face of President Lincoln on the front, and the simple wheat stalks on the reverse. Nothing flashy. Nothing loud. Just quiet, American resilience pressed into copper. Now here's where the story takes a strange and fascinating turn. Most 1938 pennies were struck at the Denver or San Francisco mints, marked with a tiny D or S just below the date. But in very rare cases, some were minted in Philadelphia, and these had no mint mark at all. At first glance, they looked completely ordinary. But these particular coins had something different, a tiny, almost imperceptible error during the minting process, and sometimes, in the coin world, tiny errors are worth a fortune. It wasn't until decades later that collectors began to notice something odd. Certain 1938 pennies without a mint mark had sharper details, slight inconsistencies in their edges or strike depth, little things. Things only the trained eye might see. And in the coin collecting world, little things make all the difference. One man, we'll call him Robert, was cleaning out his late grandfather's coin collection. Nothing fancy. A few wheat pennies, a couple of silver dimes, some old bills. But one penny caught his eye. 1938, no mint mark. And it looked different. Almost untouched, despite its age. He nearly threw it in with the rest, but something stopped him. He brought it to a coin dealer, just to check. They passed it along to a grading service. Weeks later, he got the call. His grandfather's old penny was one of the rarest examples known to exist. Near mint condition. And just like that, it was valued at over $900,000. Imagine that. One dusty old coin, sitting in a drawer for 70 years. Nearly $1 million. 2 minutes in, and here's the twist, most of the valuable 1938 wheat pennies aren't in museums or private collections. They're hiding in old jars, passed-down coin folders, or sitting, right now, at the bottom of your kitchen junk drawer. You wouldn't know just by looking. That's what makes this so fascinating. These coins were never meant to be rare. But a strange convergence of history, economics, and human error made them one of the most sought-after pieces of American coinage today. It gets more intense the deeper you go. Some of these no-mint marked 1938s show what's called a double die error, where the stamping process misaligned and printed parts of the design twice. These flaws weren't caught at the mint. They slipped through, unnoticed, until collectors found them years later. To a trained numismatist, this isn't a flaw, it's treasure. And depending on condition, it could be worth more than a luxury car. Another twist. Some experts believe that hundreds, possibly thousands, of these pennies are still out there. Undiscovered. Unrecognized. Tossed in with common coins. That's why coin shows, antique dealers, and auction houses still obsess over them. Every new discovery pushes the price higher, and fuels a modern-day treasure hunt among people just like you. We're not just talking about rich collectors here. Some of the biggest finds have been made by regular people, retirees cleaning out attics, widows sorting through their spouses' keepsakes, even kids helping their grandparents with a garage sale. There's a very real chance that someone, somewhere, is sitting on one right now, and has no idea. So how do you know if you have a real one? Start by looking for a 1938 date with no mint mark underneath it. That alone makes it interesting, because by 1938, most wheat cents carried a D or S. No mark. That's your first green flag. But it's not enough. Next, study the condition. Serious buyers and grading services care about wear, sharpness of detail, and original luster. Coins that were barely handled, stored in dry places, or hidden away in original rolls are the most valuable. The closer to mint state, the higher the value, sometimes exponentially, then comes the strike quality. Many valuable examples of the 1938 no-mint mark wheat penny show slight doubling, on Lincoln's eye, the letters, Liberty, or the date itself. This doubling is incredibly subtle, but unmistakable once you see it. And that's where authentication becomes critical, because when a coin might be worth hundreds of thousands, fakes will always follow, and unfortunately, yes, there are plenty of counterfeits. Some have added dates. Others were sanded, doctored, or artificially aged.